Hi, and welcome back. So, in my work as a counselor, I've often come across cases of language delay. And in this video today, what I'm going to do is share some effective strategies for you as parents to help your children overcome language delay.
So today, the first thing that I'm going to talk about is strengthening of the oromuscular area. And it's important that this area, the muscles around the mouth get strengthened because this is how the sound is produced. Uh, and how we can do it, very simple. What we need to do is to give them enough opportunities to bite and chew food. We can also get them a loopy straw and make sure that they are sucking with the straw, and the sucking is effortful. So when they are sucking with an effort, what would happen is this the muscle around the mouth would get strengthened. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is a strategy called expansion. And by expansion, what I mean is if your child is at a one word stage, you expand and bring him to a two-word stage. For example, if the child is saying pani, you will extend, add another word to it and bring it to pani de do. And that's how you keep doing. So from one word, you bring your child to a two-word phrase, and then once the child is comfortable saying a phrase, you bring the child to a three-word phrase. So you keep on adding a word and extending the phrase till the child has the ability to make a meaningful sentence out of it. So while you're working with expansion, make sure that you also do not respond to gestures. Why I'm saying this is because children need to feel that frustration within them. Unless and until they do that, they would be very comfortable not using a word, not uttering a single word from their mouth, because anyways the things are getting done for them. So what you can do is, for the first time when the child is pointing fingers at something, you can give the word to the child. But the next time, if the child is wanting the same thing, you need to elicit the word from the child. So it's okay if the child is experiencing frustration, because unless and until they experience that frustration of not being able to explain themselves, they will not be using the word. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is serve and return. I've also spoken about it in quite a few of my videos, and it's a WHO recommended strategy and very, very helpful. It's a part of the responsive caregiving manual that they have. And serve and return is nothing but engaging in conversations with your child. So if the child says something, you expand on it, you engage with the child, and you take the conversation forward. So when you do a lot of serve and return, what happens is there's a lot of conversation that happens, and the child is exposed to a lot of language. The absorption, the idea of making meaningful sentences would come to the child looking at how you speak, and they would try and emulate it and speak the same way. So it's important that you turn a playtime into a time where you also converse, talk about his interest, and make sure that you're consciously talking and not giving instructions. Don't do this, don't do that, keep it here. These are instructions. What I'm talking about is engaging in conversations. So serve and return, please remember this. And it's also very, very effective in ensuring that the child picks up a lot of language and adds on to his or her vocabulary. What you can also do is begin early. So the fact is, when children are just born and they begin to make eye contact, make sure that you are there and you are also kind of responding to the child. It fires up a lot of neurons in their brain, and it really helps them pick up that strand of language and communication from there. Apart from the fact that the child is consciously attaching to you, who's the primary caregiver, they also pick up a lot of language. And a child would start first cooing, then babbling, and then would come to a one word stage at 12 months of age. So, as parents, please be very, very conscious about the language milestones of the children. Understand what is the milestone for language, and please be very alert if there is any kind of a delay. You can fill the gap, supplement it by these strategies at home. But if you feel that the gap still persists, my request would be to then please consult your own pediatrician. A developmental pediatrician would be an ideal person to help you, or maybe you could take help of a counseling psychologist or a clinical psychologist to understand if there is a delay and what kind of an intervention that can be provided to the child. Please remember that an early intervention in any kind of delay is something that really helps the child. Please do not go by the voices that you hear around yourself that it's okay and it will get resolved. Well, it does get resolved in most of the children, but if you implement these strategies at home, what you're also doing is helping the child overcome the delay. Also understand that language is an important part of growing up, it's an important part of socializing. And if the children are facing any kind of delay in language, it would impact their self-worth in the fact that they will not be able to make social relations connections easily, because they would always doubt themselves and they would feel themselves isolated from children who are speaking really well. So make sure that this is one of the things that is taken care of as soon as the child is ready to go to school.